Yo guys, and thanks for tuning in. I'm starting to do some videos where I talk about things that aren't always gaming related, and I've aptly named it Random Shit. So basically I'll have some gameplay in the background, but the content of the video will be about some random topic, different each time. This time it's TV shows, which I'll cover in a second. The next one will be my top 5 YouTube channels, or my favourite 5, and it's going to be a different topic every time. For the most part, it's going to be non-gaming related. Might be something in the news, might be a film, etc. But there might be some gaming things thrown in there as well. I might talk about some technology, like Steam boxes, things like that, but for the most part it's going to be non-gaming stuff. So let's get started. Now, as I said, this time I'm talking about TV shows, and more specifically TV shows that I love to watch and watch religiously. I do want you guys to comment below and see if you agree, disagree, and really just share your thoughts on what TV shows you like as well. Now, there are some TV shows that I think are just awesome and can't wait for new episodes, and then there's some that I just really like to watch when I'm not doing anything else, but I'm not necessarily itching at the bit to download them. So what are the awesome shows? Well, in no particular order, we'll start off with Boardwalk Empire, which I just love. The whole sort of gangster era, if you want to call it that, is just something that I really enjoy. I find it very interesting. Going off topic, I actually went to watch Gangster Squad a few days ago, and that was pretty awesome as well, so go check that out. But yeah, I really just like Boardwalk Empire a lot. I can't even think of the main guy's name, but he's awesome in it. He's a great actor, and it just really is a good show. So, moving on, we have Homeland. Now, it took me a few episodes to really get into Homeland properly, but since then I've been hooked. They've really set it up well and truly for the new season as well. I don't know if I'm not going to do any spoilers, obviously, but for those who've watched the finale of the last season, they really have set it up for a new season. I recommend anyone who likes thrillers to go check it out. So, the next one, I don't think there's going to be many people who haven't watched or at least heard of the next one, Game of Thrones. I think the easy way to sum up Game of Thrones is to say it's a volcano of epicness that erupts every episode and covers the viewers in epic juice. No filthy puns needed. That's all I'm really going to say about that, because Game of Thrones doesn't need any introduction. It's just that awesome. So moving on to a TV series that isn't even on anymore, but I had to include it because I'm a proper fanboy when it comes to it. I used to love it. I still do love it. I could watch it for days on end. I've watched the entire box set who knows how many times. I just think it's amazing. Ask 24. Jack Bauer is just the coolest dude around. It's probably not for probably not everyone's cup of tea, and predominantly the seasons kind of plan out the exact same way every time. Usually it starts off, the government will ask for Jack's help, Jack will come back, Jack will kick some ass, Jack will then do something he shouldn't do and go against the government, they'll blame Jack, then Jack actually was right, and then everything sorts itself out. That's kind of how it works every single time, but still, I just freaking love it. Now, I don't think a TV show list would be fitting without a zombie show. And what better than The Walking Dead? They seem to always be able to have a very good mix of action, drama, and something called emotion, apparently. Who knew? Either way, clearly the coolest part have got to be when they're chopping off zombies' heads, and I think this is the one time you're allowed to like that sort of thing, is when it comes to zombies and not be a sadist. So The Walking Dead is pretty awesome. I think the next season is about to start anytime now. Same with Game of Thrones, actually, so I'm really looking forward to those. Okay, last but not least, on my unmissable list, and this is maybe one that not everyone is familiar with, but it's called Fringe. Now, Fringe is kind of like a cooler X-Files, but without all the aliens. Instead, the show focuses on scientific anomalies, usually caused by some mad scientist, but the show has evolved a fair bit over the past few seasons. In my opinion, it's just a really cool show, and it's always been interesting to see what they do next, and how they then try and explain that in scientific terms. So if you haven't checked Fringe out, be sure to check that out as well. So now, as I said, there are plenty of other shows I do watch when I'm not doing anything and really enjoy that aren't necessarily on my unmissable list. I've started to get back into a TV show called Grimm. a TV show based on the stories, the Grimm fairy tales, which is actually pretty good, to be fair. And I've started watching the second season of that, and it's actually getting quite entertaining. So that's actually quite cool, and it's probably worth a watch if you like that sort of fairy tale type thing, but more gritty. I watch a lot of crime stuff like NCIS Los Angeles, Criminal Minds. Hawaii Five-0 is a pretty good watch too. It tends to have a lot of bikini-clad women in it, being set by the seaside, which is clearly a bonus. So go check that out. I used to watch Dexter. Don't really bother with that anymore. I kind of lost interest in it a little while back. So yeah, Dexter is, I don't know, I used to really enjoy Dexter, but it kind of got a bit boring for me, in my personal opinion. There's another show which is fairly low-key, but got a ton better after the first season, called Falling Skies. I'm not sure if many people are familiar with it. It's kind of based around an alien invasion. The first season was very good, but it maybe was let a little bit down by the special effects. You could tell it was reasonably low budget. But the show became very popular after the first season, and you could tell it was clearly given a much bigger budget for the second season, and it really showed. The CGI and things and effects kind of did the show a lot more justice in the second season, and the show got a lot better. So that was a really good watch, so check that out. So that's kind of me finished babbling, really. Let me know what stuff you guys are into, what you like and dislike. I think a lot of people are going to have watched Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, but maybe there's a couple in there that you haven't necessarily heard of, so go check those out. Next time, as I say, we're going to go into my top 5 YouTube channels with top 5 favourites, and then we're going to kind of carry on this season over the next, maybe a couple of weeks. So as always, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.